Hello my dear friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself I am Lavkush Jogi. I have completed MSc in Agriculture, Seed Science and Technology, Specialization Seed Science and Technology from HNBGS Central University Srinagar, Uttarakhand in 2020. I have got 52 rank in PhD program Seed Science and Technology from Indian Council of Agriculture Research ICR All India Entrance Examination for Admission in 2021. Today I am going to tell about the topic seed production of cereal crops, sorghum, jowar, open pollinated varieties. Land requirements. Land to be used for seed production shall be free of volunteer plants. In addition, there should be no Johnson grass in the seed field or within the isolation distance. The field should be well drained. Isolation requirements. Sorghum is generally a self-funded cross, but cross-pollination up to 8 to 10% may also occur. It varies from 0.6 to 50% in different places and different varieties. More in loose panicles than in compact ones. Different varieties adjust to one another, readily cross-pollinate and also cross readily with other sorghums and broom corn. The isolation of seed fields is therefore necessary. First, seed field must be isolated from the contaminants shown in column 1 of the table 6.1 by in the distance specified in column 2 and 3 of the said table. Contaminants. Field of other varieties of grain and dual purpose sorghum and the same variety not conforming the varietal purity requirements for the certification. Minimum distance foundation 200 meters, certified 100 meters. Johnson grass, sorghum, Helpens, foundation seed 400 meter, certified 400 meter. Forage sorghum with height layering and grassy panicles, foundation seed 400 meter, certified seed 400 meter. Brief cultural practices. First, preparation of land. Prepare the land to a fine tilth by deep ploughing 3 to 4 harrowings, followed by leveling. The field must be free of weed at the time of sowing. Second, time of sowing Kharif 4th week of June to 1st week of July. Rabi mid-September for southern states. Third, source of seed. Obtain nucleus or breeder or foundation seed from source approved by the seed certification agency. 4. Method of sowing. Seed crops should be invariably be sown in row. The depth of seedlings should be 3 to 4 cm. 5. Spacing. Row to row 45 cm, plant to plant 15 cm. 6. Seed rate 12 to 15 kg per hectare. 7. Fertilization. Base the fertilizer application on the basis of soil test results. In the absence of soil test result, follow the following recommendations. First dose. In rain-fed areas, only nitrogen and phosphorus each at 40 kg per hectare. If the use of potash is recommended, apply 35 kg of potash per hectare. In irrigated areas, apply nitrogen at 60 kg and phosphorus at 50 kg per hectare. If the use of potash is recommended, apply 40 kg potash per hectare. Apply to fertilizer in row 5 cm below and 5 cm to the side of the seed at the time of sowing. Second dose. In rain-fed areas, apply nitrogen at the rate of 40 to 60 kg per hectare, and in irrigated areas at 60 to 70 kg per hectare between the row 30 days after planting, when the plants are about knee high, and cultivate. Irrigation. Irrigate to the crop when needed. Do not allow the leaves to wilt at any stage. Ensure that there is no moisture in the soil at the time of flowering. See that the field has proper drainage, as waterlogging will damage the crop. Drain out all excess water from the field, generally in Kharif 1 pre-sowing irrigation and 1-2 irrigations. If rain does not fall for about 20 days are required, whereas in Rabi more irrigation may be required. 9. Interculture. Keep the field free from weeds. Give slow intercultivations not more than 4 to 5 cm deep. Do not intercultivate too near the plants. Pre-emergence sparing of atrazine at 0.5 kg active ingredient per hectare, propagine at 1 kg, chemicals 50% vegetable powder in 1000 liter of water can also be applied for controlling weeds. 10. Plant protection. Control measures as per following schedule should be adopted for seed fields. Insect control, fruit fly. First, treat seed with 5-part active ingredient of carbofuran per 100 part of seed. To apply 3% of carbofuran granules at the rate of 3 gram per meter of row of 10% phosphate granulate at 1.5 gram per meter row to disulforam 5% and 3 gram per meter row 2 in the seed furrow at time of sowing. 3. Spray monocrotophos 36 EC at 1 liter per hectare. Stem borer. First, uproot stems and burn these to reduce borer population. Second, apply granules of one of the following insecticides to plant walls 2 to 3 times at 10 days interval, starting 20 days after seeding emergence at 10 and 12 kg per hectare respectively. Endosulfan 4%, carbaryl 4%, linden 1%, metathion 10%. Sprays of these insecticides at the same dose of active ingredient in 500 to 600 liter water per hectare may be applied if the granules are not available. Midges. A burn panicle residue and threshing chaff to destroy DA ploughing larvae to send. Sow a single variety over a short time period in large blocks so as the reduce flowering at different periods. Third, spray off in heads before flowering 50% panicle emerges with endosulfan 35% EC at 1.5 liters, carbaryl 50% WP at 3 kg, linden 20% EC at 1.25 liters in 500 to 600 liters of water per hectare. Repeat spray after 4 to 6 days. Dust at the same rate of active ingredient can be also be used. Earhead bugs. Treat earheads with 10% carbyl dust with sulfur 18:2 at 20 kg per hectare. Mites. If the dry spell continues for the long time, dust the crop with 25 of sulfur per hectare to control mites. Instead of dusting, spraying with the mixer prepared to mixing varietal sulfur at 5 gram per liter of water, 29 liter of mixer per hectare can also be done. Aphid. If aphid pose a problem, spray the crop with 1080 liters per hectare of malathion mixer. Mix 50 cc of 50% malathion in 45 liter of water. 1080 liter mixer per hectare. Red hairy caterpillars. Red hairy caterpillars are armyworms are the other insect which may attack the crop due to dust. 5% malathion at 18 kg per hectare. Rodents. At the flowering time, rats often damage the crop. Control them by poison baiting with zinc phosphide. Mix 25 gram of zinc phosphide and 25 gram and edible oil and molasses with 750 gram of cereals grains. This much weight will cover 1 hectare. Disease control. Sugary disease. Spray at boot leaf stage with germ 0.2% and repeat the spray twice at 5 days interval. Mix 7 WP during second and third spray at 0.1%. Rogue out all the years sowing honeydew at the time of spray. Grain molds. Spray with aerifusions 200 ppm or 0.02%. Captan 0.2% at the time of the grain setting stage. Adjust spraying to so that the grains are protected soon after the rains. Do not spray if there is bright weather during the grain maturity period. Molds attack following the rain. Leaf spot disease wherever needed, spray with dithan Z70 at 0.2% twice at fortnightly intervals starting from 45 days after sowing. Rogue out of type plants and volunteer before they wings to shed pollen. The rogued plant must be cut from the bottom or pulled out to prevent regrowth. The off type are easily distinguished on the basis of plant characteristics. Rogue out related plants such as Johnson grass, Sudan grass, forage plant and diseased plants affected by kernel smut or grain smut and head smut from time to time as required. Harvesting and threshing. These seed crop must be fully ripe before harvesting. The harvested heads should be stored out to remove diseased or otherwise undesirable heads from the piles and dried on the threshing floor for a week or so before threshing. Threshing can be done by Thresher seed should be dried to 10% moisture content before storage. Seed yield 35 to 40 quintal per hectare. Hybrid seed production. The hybrid seed production seed is produced by utilizing cytoplasmic genetic malleability. The various steps involved in hybrid seed production are as follow. 1. Maintenance of parental line, namely male strain line A carrying cytoplasmic genetic malleability, maintain a line sister strain line A equal line B male fertile. Non-pollen restoring and restore line R to be used as male parent for purposes of producing hybrid seed male fertile pollen restoring lines. Second, production of hybrid seed. This involves crossing of male line A with restorer line R. The first stage of increased maintenance of parental lines is referred to as foundation seed production, and the production of hybrid seed is referred to as certified seed production. Maintenance of male strain line A. Principle of maintenance of male strain. The male strain line A carries male sterility due to the cytoplasmic genetic factor. It is maintained by crossing by the male fertile non-pollen restoring strain L line B, which is the sister strain of line A in a isolated plot. Line B is entirely similar to line A in all respects except that line B is pollen fertile, whereas line A is pollen strain. In a crossing field, the usual planting ratio of line A and B is 4:2, 4 to 6 broader row with a line B seed are planted all around the seed plot. Their seed harvested from line A is male strain and used for hybrid seed production and the for future in cereals of lines A. The seed harvested from line B is pollen fertile and could be used in further increase of line AB subsequent years. Land requirements. Land requirements are the same as described for open pollinated varieties. Isolation requirements. A. Seed fields should be isolated from the contaminants shown in column 1 table 6.2 by distance specified in column 2 of same table. Contaminants. Fields of other varieties of grain and dual purpose sorghum and the same varieties not conforming to varietal purity requirements for the certification. Foundation seed 300, Johnson grass sorghum, Alpines 400, forage sorghum 400 foundation seed. Brief cultural practice. The cultural practices are the same as those described for seed production of open pollinated varieties except that of the difference in sowing, which is the described below. A sowing. Maintenance of male strain line A involves sowing of two parents, namely female parents male strain line A and pollinator parent male fertile non-pollen restoring line B. The sowing is done in 4:2. After sowing, 4 to 6 broader row of pollinator parent are also sown all around the field. Border row should be distinctly separated from the crossing block by the at least 1 meter. To facilitate rowing and inspection, row to row spacing should be 75 and plant to 75 centimeter. Precautions to avoid mixing of seeds of two parents is necessary at the time of sowing. B. Seed rate. Female parent line A 8 kg per hectare, male parent line B 4 kg per hectare. Rogging. Rogging of seed field is very important for quality seed production. Before flowering, remove all off-type plant from both seed parent and pollinator row. In large field, it is advisable to commerce during from alternate ends of the fields each day. First, A. Start rogging before off types. Volunteer and pollen seeders in female row start shedding pollen. B. All rogue and volunteer plants must be cut from ground level or pulled out to prevent regrowth and subsequent contamination of the seed crop. C. Outcrosses can be identified because of their greater height and should be removed as soon as noticed. D. At flowering, rogging should be done every day to remove pollen seeders type in the seed row. The sterile type have only the stigma or few abrutative anther extracted. These should not be mistaken for normal fertile plants. Normal fertile plants will be have anthers which are full of pollen out to the tips of both lobes. E. All plants place that is plants in between at the line male plants in female row and vice versa are also to be removed. Special attention should be given at the end to border row and seed row as male seed may fall in the female row or female in male row. F. In addition to removing off type and volunteer from within the fields, eliminate other sorghum and related plants such as Johnson grass, Sudan grass and forage plants from within the isolation distance. These sources of undesirable pollen must be also eliminated before pollen is produced. In addition, remove diseased heads affected by kernel smut or grain smut and head smut. G. Pre-harvest rogging. The field should be also be reduced thoroughly before harvesting and after the seed has matured to the stage when the true plant and seed characters and apparent to rogging. The diseased head should be also completed by this time. Harvesting. Harvest male row first and keep their heads separate. This is necessary to avoid mixture at the later stage. After the female row should be harvested. The method of harvesting is as described earlier. Seed yields 4 to 6 quintal per hectare. Maintenance of restorer line B. The seed of restored line R is produced in a isolated field in the manner described earlier for open pollinated varieties. The isolation requirements, however, the slightly different and are the same as given for maintenance of line A. Production of hybrid sorghum seed. Hybrid seed is produced by crossing male line A with specified restored line R in a isolated field. This is the hybrid seed that is sold to farmer. The Salient Features of hybrid sorghum seed production are mentioned below. Land requirements. Land requirements are same as described earlier for open pollinated varieties. Isolation requirements. Seed fields should be isolated from a contaminant soil in column 1 of table 6.3 by distance of specified of column 2 of same tables. Contaminant field of other varieties of grain and dual purpose sorghum and same hybrid not conforming to varietal purity requirements of certification. Minimum distance certified seed 200. Fields of other hybrids having some same male parent of locus farming and varietal purity requirements of certification 5 meter. Johnson grass sorghum Helpens 400 meter. Forage sorghum with height leading and grasses. Grassy panicle 400. Brief cultural practice. Most of the cultural practice are the same as described earlier for seed production of open pollinated varieties, except that of difference in planting which are described below. Planting. 1. Spacing. To facilitate rowing and inspection, a row to row spacing of 75 to 90 cm is recommended. Seed could be dropped at spacing of 4 to 5 cm and thinned to retain one plant every 7.5 cm in a row. Seed should be placed at not more than 4 cm beneath the surface of the soil. Second, planting ratio. The recommended planting ratio is 2 male row of every 4 female row. Draw lines in the fields and mark male row with flags, tags or marker plants, namely Sorghum of Dencha. This reduces and chance of error in delayed plantings. 3. Border row. At least 4 border rows should be planted on the side edge of the field. This is mainly to ensure and abundance of foliage on the edges of field, especially at the ends of row. A definite space is essential between the border row and ends of the regular plantings so as to separate the two plantings distinctly. 4. Synchronizations of male and female parents. In hybrid seed production, perfect synchronizations in flowering of parental lines of most important. The differential behavior of the parental line or flowering habit result in non synchronizations of the parents, giving rise to poor seed set. Therefore, a knowledge of the behavior of parental line or for the flowering habit is not only essential but also very useful for careful planning of suitable staging to ensure nicking and thereby ensuring maximum seed set. The stigma respectively remain for 6 to 10 days in Kharif and 5-9 days in Rabi. Most of the cytoplasmic genetic male line underused at present. When the adopted staggered sowing. If before flowering it is known that the parents differ in days to 50% flowering by more than 5 days, staggered Sowing is recommended to achieve effective nick when the adapt cultural manipulations for nicking. If there is only slight difference in number of days to 50% flowering between 35 and the 40th days after sowing, observe primordial irritations by taking longitudinal section of the internodes in both the parents. Based on the primordial irritations, disparity of 4 to 5 days can be got over the cultural manipulations, namely spraying of the 1% urea 2 or 3 times at the interval of 2-3 days of additional irrigation to the logging parents, blowing air by operating an empty duster with the mouth directed horizontally to the male ears will be disseminate pollen. Under occasionally difficult situation, heat pollination by collecting and dusting pollen may have to resorted to. However, a contamination of staggered planting and selective irrigation fertilization can meet the requirements of most of the situations. The most important thing is the personal experience of a farmer in seed production of hybrids sorghum in the own locality. This is more important than any definite recommendations from any one source. It should be recognized that achieving a good nick is primarily dependent on personal initiative and experience. It is not possible to guarantee nick by giving recommendations. The size of planting should be proportional or to the experience. Minimize risk. A good job on small acreage is better than a poor one on the large acreage. Rogging should be done in a manner similar to that described earlier for maintenance of male line. Line A. Harvest male row any time after the flowering period and prepare to harvest of seed parent. Remove produce from the male parent's row from the seed field. This is to avoid mixture at harvest time. Other operations are the same as described earlier. Seed yield 4 to 6 quintal per hectare. The yields, however, may be much higher under favorable condition and good seed setting.